My name is Waffles, and I'm a government whistleblower turned political commentator, and this is the last 24 hours in the news. It is currently 1 o'clock a.m. on the dot, Mountain Standard Time. Today is July 7th, 2025. Here are the top U.S. news highlights from the past 24 hours. Trump nears major trade deals ahead of tariff deadline. President Trump announced the U.S. is close to finalizing trade agreements with the EU, India, the UK, and 18 other partners ahead of an August 1st deadline. For tariff hikes, he also introduced an additional 10% tariff on countries aligned with BRICS nations, which would be China, Russia, India, if no deal materializes, causing market uncertainty. Again, Trump has a tendency to say 2 weeks for everything, and the term taco in reference to Trump has come from his flaking out on saying he's going to do stuff and it not happening. So, I mean, that's in the news, but it's not, it's whether or not he's going to make a deal is an entirely different question. Just because Trump says stuff, just because crap comes out of his mouth, doesn't mean that that is what's going to happen. But yeah, that's in the news. Markets worry amid tariff ambiguity. Investors showed a caution as U.S. trade policy shifted again. Tariff changes might be delayed, expanded, or reach up to 70% for BRICS-aligned nations. This uncertainty set Asian futures approximately 0.4% lower, nudged safe haven treasury yields higher, and depressed oil prices after an unexpected OPEC Plus production boost. UK CFOs lose appetite for U.S. investment. A Deloitte, D-E-L-O-I-T-T-E, Deloitte survey. I'm assuming that's like a source, like a news company or something, but a Deloitte survey recorded a dramatic drop in the U.S. attractiveness among UK CFOs from plus 59% to plus 2%, largely due to unpredictable tariff policy. Conversely, the UK and India gained favor as safe and stable destinations. Thailand proposes concessions to avoid 36% tariff. A Dodge proposed U.S. tariffs of up to 36%. Thailand has pledged additional trade concessions and aims to slash its $46 billion trade surplus by 70% over 5 years, seeking a resolution before the July 9th deadline. Investors seem resigned to tariff drama despite the uncertainty around Trump's tariff plans. Market analysts suggest investors are benumbed and blaze with outcomes largely priced in. U.S. stocks recovered following Trump's tax bill signing, though Treasury yields rose and the dollar declined 11% in H1 2025, its steepest drop since 1973. Trump signs tax spending bill on July 4th ceremony. On Independence Day, Trump signed the $3 trillion tax and spend package into law. That would be H.R. 1, the big treasonous bill, on the White House lawn. The bill makes the 2017 tax cuts to billionaires permanent, increases border security and defense funding, whether or not, this is what a secure border looks like and whether or not those funds are actually being used for that is another question, and cuts healthcare coverage for millions. Democrats and some GOP moderates condemned it as favoring the wealthy and gutting the social safety net. Trade tensions, rapid policy pivots, new tariffs, and pressuring trade partners are rattling businesses and investors. Economic bearings, uncertainty in trade policy impacts global supply chains, investment flow, and consumer prices. Trump's massive bill will reshape budget priorities and likely drive inflation and debt discussions. Markets have shrugged off volatility, but foreign investors are cooling and domestic policy risks loom. Here's an updated overview of hazardous weather currently affecting the U.S. across various regions. Extreme heat alerts, Central Plains, Upper Midwest, and Southeast. Heat indices are forecast to reach 105 to 110 in some areas this week. Risks include heat stroke, dehydration, rapid health complications, especially among seniors, young children, outdoor workers, and pets. Action steps. Seek air-conditioned spaces, stay hydrated, and avoid strenuous outdoor activity from late morning to late afternoon. Severe thunderstorm threats. Central U.S., e.g. Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri. Severe thunderstorm watches and warnings issued for Saturday and Sunday, featuring damaging winds, large hail, and brief but heavy downpours with flash flooding potential. Monitor local alerts and be prepared to shelter indoors, especially in basements, interior rooms, and storm shelters. Flash flood concerns. Central Texas and parts of the Midwest. Heavy rainfall, 2 to 4 inches an hour, may lead to flash flood warnings. Critical warning, never drive through flooded highways. Stay away from low-lying and coastal flood-prone areas during and after storms. Fire weather and red flag warnings. Pacific Northwest, Oregon and Washington, Intermountain West. Elevated fire danger due to dry lightning, low humidity, and gusty winds. Outdoor burning is restricted. Campfires, fireworks, and fire-prone activities are likely discouraged. Coastal and lightning risks. Gulf and Atlantic coasts. Some summery sea breezes are triggering frequent afternoon thunderstorms, sometimes with dangerous cloud-to-ground lightning. Lightning risk can remain post-storm. Plan to dive indoors if you hear thunder or see flashes. How to stay safe. Check local forecasts daily. Castle strategies, stay cool in AC or shaded indoor settings during heat waves. Storm safety, have a weather-driven emergency plan and safe shelter access. Flood precaution, avoid roadways over water during storms. Fire safety, follow all fire restrictions, extinguish embers completely. Here are the top international news highlights from the past 24 hours. Global markets wobble over U.S. tariff uncertainty. Asian and European markets slipped as U.S. trade policy remained murky. President Trump set an August 1st deadline for potential tariff hikes based on ongoing trade negotiations referencing countries aligned with BRICS bloc. Oil prices dropped after OPEC Plus announced unexpected production increases, targeting around 60 to 65 BBL to pressure U.S. shale producers. Safe haven treasury yields saw gains as investor caution rose. Typhoon Danas batters southern Taiwan. Typhoon Danas hit southwestern Taiwan with record strength winds and torrential rain, killing at least 2 people and injuring over 330. Damage included widespread power outages, canceled flights, and school and business closures. The storm is now moving towards eastern China. Ceasefire talks between Hamas and Israel stalling. Indirect negotiations in Qatar concluded their first without substantive progress. Palestinian sources said the Israeli delegation lacked authority to finalize terms. So it was the first round of negotiations in Qatar. Demonstrations in Tel Aviv called for a ceasefire and the return of approximately 50 hostages. Israel strikes Houthi targets in Yemen. Israeli forces conducted airstrikes on 3 Yemeni port cities in Hodeidah, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Salif, and Ras Isa, and damaged a power plant. These actions responded to recent Houthi missile drone attacks targeting Israel and regional shipping lanes. OPEC Plus oil output surge provokes debate. OPEC Plus agreed to boost August production by 548,000 BPD, well beyond earlier guidance, prompting discussion on whether global demand can absorb this additional supply. The move signals a strategic play to influence shale profitability and balance the market. Why it matters: uncertainty on U.S. tariffs and OPEC Plus production are reshaping global financial strategies and commodity pricing. Taiwan's typhoon underscores climate vulnerability and coastal preparedness in Asia. Middle East dynamics, stalled ceasefire negotiations, and expanding conflict zones, Yemen fronts, complicate regional stability. Energy strategy: OPEC Plus's aggressive output model is aimed at controlling shale growth and sustaining market dominance. It is 1:10 a.m. This is the last.
So the Olympics is great. And Johnny, for the others, you know, the World Cup, Johnny is the head of it. We had our top people, Wasserman. They all came in on the Olympics, and then I saw Johnny. And we got the World Cup, too. And, you know, it's only because they rigged the election that I'll be your president representing you there. You know, I got both of them. I got the Olympics, and I got the World Cup. And I said, you know, it's too bad. One was in 2026, and the other was in 2028. And I said, I won't be there. I won't be your president. But then they rigged the election, and now we won, so I'm going to be your president for the Olympics and for the World Cup. So, Johnny, thank you for the World Cup, and everybody, thank you for the Olympics. We're going to have a great time.
Hey guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment to my videos. And also, don't forget to check out my shop where you could get this awesome Real Patriots Punch Nazis t-shirt. America, fuck yeah! And if you go to the link tree in my bio on most platforms, it's got links to everything, all of my stuff. You can find my shop there. I'm on eBay. You can also get this cool Exterminate MAGA sticker, because MAGA's fucking cockroaches. And fuck MAGA, abolish MAGA, fuck you MAGA.